Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 9 of What If Naruto Had a New Dream That Will Change Everything. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, I posted a brand new series on this channel, What If Naruto Was Too Advanced for His Age. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy guys. And over on Anime King, I posted a brand new episode of What If Naruto Became the God of Lightning. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy as well. And I also posted a brand new episode over on Anime King 3 of What If Naruto was Betrayed by Hagoromo. So go ahead and check out that as well. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off. As Naruto spent the week with Snally, the both of them going and drinking and having fun. Jiraiya was glad that they became quick friends, as he was glad that things didn't escalate from the point where Naruto had tied her up. As the both of them seemed to have forgotten about that, as they drink for the entire week. Snally decided that it was her responsibility to defeat Orochimaru, so she went by herself. Shizune had informed them though as they made their way there. As Naruto took on Kabuto, as Naruto wastes no time with the man, using a Rasengan and he drilled it right into Kabuto's chest, destroying his heart. Orochimaru was furious at that, as he lost one of his subordinates, one of his best subordinates. He went to kill Naruto, as his sword pierced right through Naruto, only for Naruto to grab the handle, forced Orochimaru to, well, pull. But Naruto's grip was iron tight. Snally regained her composure right there and smashed a fist into his face, sending Orochimaru sailing away. Seeing that everything was against him now, he decided to leave. As he glared at Naruto before he left, he will kill him soon enough. With that, Orochimaru left the premises. As Naruto fell to the ground, Snally quickly worked on healing him to make sure that he was alright. As he was fine though, as it just took a bit of healing, and he was back to his feet. After all, Naruto's healing ability was also amazing. A week passed since Snally became the Hokage. As everything was going good in the village, everything was calm. As Naruto and Snally spent time at the office, as Naruto told her about the Shadow Clone Jutsu, that would help her a lot, as the both of them spent time there drinking. Snally looked like a teenage girl that was just sitting back and relaxing, as Shizune was just happy that, well, things wasn't escalating, and everything was calm at the moment. As Naruto was nervous when time came, as it was time for him to go on a date with Zana. Although he has, well, slept with her multiple times, now he was just nervous, as she looked so extravagant in her clothing. On the back of Naruto's outfit was a nine-tailed fox, so when he went to the restaurant, the owner tried to kick him out. Many people had to respect Naruto now when they tried to because of his family name, which Naruto hated so much. Now they want to kiss his ass. But Naruto had pictures of the owner with one of his waitresses, and the man didn't want his wife to find out, so he served Naruto and Zana. But at the end of the day, Naruto was still gonna give the wife the photos. After all, he told the man to serve them with a polite tone and be happy about it, but the man wasn't happy about it at all. So with that over, they headed off, as Naruto brought her to his, well, personal hot spring. So yeah guys, that's basically that's what left off. You guys can switch across the page and check it out for yourself. So what do you say begin this new episode? Both Zana and Naruto had stripped down, as they were in the hot spring. Zana was sitting down in his lap. There is sure a lot of star out tonight. This is nothing compared to what you can see from the middle of the desert, said Zana at night. Must be a beautiful sight, said Naruto. It is, she said. I'm sure it's not as beautiful as you, he said, as he kissed her on the neck. Naruto, that was so corny, she said, as he laughed. Maybe, but it's still true. The both of them lapsed into silence once again, enjoying the hot water. Before Naruto's curiosity got the better of him. I've been meaning to ask you this. She looked back in interest. Have you ever met any of the legendary shinobis of the past? Like the first Hokage or something? Well, I actually did meet Senju Hashirama, briefly. Could you tell me about it, Naruto asked. You were sure this would be interesting? I suppose. I actually met him because of his rival, Uchiha Madara. As Naruto heard the hostility in her tone, as Naruto wondered what did the man do. The fool had somehow evolved his Sharingan to a level beyond what other Uchihas ever accomplished, and came to believe that he would allow him to place me under his control. He sought me out, trying to enslave me. He used me to fight against his rival. As Naruto tightened his arms around her, hearing the rage in her voice at that. Truth be told, Naruto was quite pissed off the Uchiha to think that he could just walk up to Xana and try to enslave her like that. Obviously, she said, he failed, and it made him quite angry. He believed that the Bijus were nothing but beasts, and should obey the ear of the Sage of Six Path. That is what he thought himself was. At least that is what I was able to gather from his ranting. I had no idea how he even learned that Uchihas were descended from a sage, but it clearly went to his head. He fled before I could rip him to shreds. Promise me that you will get me in the end, but nothing ever come of it. Sounds like he has a few screws loose, said Naruto. He could easily imagine someone like Madara, a Uchiha, thinking that they were all powerful and the world should bow to them. No doubt, I heard that the maggot died fighting Orochimaru before I could make him pay for the insult he tried to put on me. He thought that his dojutsu was capable of overpowering me. She snorted. The only dojutsu that hold a threat to me is a Rinnegan, and that has long since passed from this world. So how did that lead to you meeting the first Naruto asked, rubbing her legs smoothly. I was curious about the man that killed Madara, so I went to him in human form. Konoha had already been created by then, and he was married to Uzumaki Mito. They were in the process of trying to establish peace with the other 4 shinobi villages that had sprung up around the elemental nations. It was amusing to watch him for a little while, because I know that they would fail in the end. Human nature always made sure there was a greedy, self-certain idiot somewhere that would try to cause a war for his own personal gain. I was right, of course, since only a few years after the first Great Shinobi War started. After a few moments of silence, Naruto spoke. You know what you need. What, she said. A splash. She was confused as he tossed her into deeper water as she gave a surprised yelp. She rose from the water, her face was plastered over by her hair. As Naruto grinned, you just made a terrible mistake, Naruto, she said, as her smirk got wider. As Naruto looked at her before she grabbed him as she pulled him underwater. Despite appearances, she was a good deal stronger than him, so it was easy for her to do. As Naruto got his head over the water surface, you know of course that this means war, right? As he splashed water at her, as she returned it with gusto. They spent the next minutes splashing water at each other and laughing at their time. As Naruto started cheated, as he used the water element to throw a large amount of water towards her direction. She manifested her tail and grabbed him, and slammed her tails in the water as well, creating a small tidal wave that slammed into him. As she laughed, and he laughed as well. She could hardly believe that she was acting so, well, childishly, and she was having fun. It made no sense to her, but this was the most fun she has ever had in centuries. She was a millennia-old demon, the most powerful demon of all. But right now she enjoyed splashing water at a human instead of blowing something up. Of course, the human was Naruto. That was the entire reason why she was doing this. She would have never gone on this date if it wasn't him asking. If anyone had dunked her or splashed water on her, she would have killed him. But because it was him, she was having fun, and she was playing in the water like a child. It was amazing what kind of influence he had on her already, and it was growing stronger and stronger by the days. To Naruto, Xana had never looked more beautiful, as those eyes, now carefree, laughing, smiling. More than anything, you want to see her happy like this more than possible. Their playtime was ended when Naruto kissed her, as he couldn't contain it anymore. As the both of them got things hot and heavy right there. After all, they were all alone, his own personal hot spring. Time skip. As the both of them were panting, lying down, just looking up at the stars, Naruto said a few words that made her chest tighten. I love you, he said. Clearly, things had progressed a bit further than she expected them to. She didn't answer. She needed to think on what this meant, and at the moment she was not thinking clearly yet. It certainly wasn't the first time he said those words, but it was the first time it affected her so strongly. Time skip. 2 weeks later in the Hokage private training ground, Tsunade, Anko, Kurenai, and Naruto was there, as they were at the moment working on the curse mark. As Naruto had figured out a way to remove it, there was also someone else there. A man, he was tied to a stone slab. Not long ago he was a bandit, a part of a group of bandits actually. He had been taken prisoners by Leaf Shinobi, as someone of interest who might have important information, but turns out he had nothing. He had been a known murderer though, and rapist, as he was sentenced to execution, but Snady had called off the execution and brought him here. He wasn't the first one to be brought here, he was the third. The previous two had died in their attempts to remove the curse mark. Orochimaru curse mark was a piece of crap, but it was a dangerous piece of crap. Without a word, Naruto began the procedure, this time feeling confident that it would work. He placed the yin seal on his chest and absorbed the chakra from it. Right away, he started to focus on every terrible memory he could drench up, calling on his chakra as well. The chakra from him darkened as his anger and rage tainted it. When he felt it became corrupt enough, he locked it away in another seal. The next several minutes, he had to calm himself and purge the corrupt chakra out of his body. Ready? Snady asked. Once he looked at Naruto, got himself back to normal. She always hated seeing him do that. His chakra felt too much like Orochimaru when he did that. When he nodded, Snady stabbed the syringe into the unconscious, bandaged shoulder and pressed down. It had taken some doing, but she managed to extract the unknown substance from Uncle Curse Mark. It was an enzyme, and it was a difficult one to get, and it was crucial to the working of the Curse Mark. Naruto slapped the seal that controlled the corrupt chakra onto the man's shoulder, as the corrupt enzymes killed him. Uncle pressed her shoulder against the man right after. The position was awkward, but it couldn't be helped. She grimaced in pain when she felt Naruto's dark corrupted chakra along the enzymes started to mix together. The pain get worse and worse and worse. It's working. Just a little longer, Uncle. The words encouraged her. A little pain was worth getting rid of the damn mark. Soon after, she felt someone pull her away. She was too exhausted to move, as she slumped against a chest that didn't have breasts, so it must be Naruto. Is it gone? She said, as she sounded rather tired. It's gone, Naruto confirmed. It's moved over to that guy. Uncle did turn her head and she saw the curse mark on the body of the bandit. The piece of Orochimaru's soul was going to die, seeing that the man didn't have an active chakra system at the moment. She felt Kurenai hugging her from behind as Uncle sighed in relief. It had taken a lot of research and work, but they managed to trick the curse mark to migrating. Since Orochimaru's soul was dragged to darker emotions, it would be definitely going towards the corrupted dark chakra that Naruto had produced and placed on the man. And not to mention the enzyme that Snady had injected inside the bandit, as the curse mark thought that that was a curse mark bearer as well, so it simply transferred over there where the more darker emotions was. Snady hadn't felt comfortable using bandits for guinea pigs for this, but they were scum of the earth that wouldn't live long anyway. Thank you, Uncle mumbled, as she dragged Naruto's head closer for a kiss. You should be careful there, Uncle. Wouldn't want Kurenai to think that you're cheating on her. Naruto teased once the kiss was over. Kurenai shrugged and gave Naruto a kiss as well. Thank you for getting that mark off of her. See, Blondie? Nai-chan is all up for another threesome, Uncle said, as she was transferred into Kurenai's arms. I never said anything about a threesome. I was just thanking for helping you. Kurenai said a red face. Well, you didn't say that you did not want one, said Uncle. Kurenai tried to glare, but it wasn't effective with the way that she was blushing. Truth be told, she wasn't against the idea with Naruto joining in again. What the hell has the both of them done to me? I never used to be like this, she thought to herself. But the fact of the matter was she was happy being in a relationship with Uncle, but her attraction to the blonde hadn't diminished in the slightest. Considering that he just got Orochimaru's disgusting seal off Uncle, he was looking more desirable than ever. Not to mention he also helped her by giving her Yang early seal, and that will help her take her genjutsu to the next level. If he wanted to join in the relationship, she wouldn't protest. Kurenai sighed her own thoughts. A few months ago, she would have put any man that suggests such a thing to her in a long-lasting genjutsu. But then Naruto went through her life and she ended up in a lesbian relationship with her best friend, and vague hopes of adding Naruto to it. Snady cleared her throat. They all turned to the rather irritated and slightly embarrassed woman. Well, Uncle and Kurenai gave cheapish grins, as Naruto looked amused. If you're all quite done, I want Uncle to stay overnight for observation in the hospital, as Uncle groaned. All I have to say, this was a great success, and we can do the same thing for Sasuke Uchiha in a few days, said Snady. Time skip. Several days later, as Naruto was sleeping comfortably with Zana, there was loud knocking on his door. Groaning with irritation, he made his way towards his door. Naruto, Shikamaru said, get dressed. I need you for a mission. As he was hurrying, that was out of character for him. Naruto, what's going on? Come back to bed. Zana's voice drifted through the bedroom door, just barely remembering to suppress the chakra in her voice box. Shikamaru froze, as the most beautiful woman he ever saw walked out of Naruto's bedroom, completely naked except for the sheet that she was holding towards herself. What mission is so damn important you're waking me up so early, Naruto asked. Sasuke had abandoned the village, and there's no higher ranked ninja capable of going after him. So Hokage told me to gather as much genuine as I can to retrieve him. Shikamaru explained in a rush, shaking himself from the daze of seeing that woman. That inconsiderate little shit. I swear, I'm gonna kill him when I get my hands on him, making me get out of bed this hour. More importantly, interrupting my cuddle time. Just because he can't handle the fact that he's not the most badass in the world. We don't know why I left the village, Naruto, said Shikamaru. Of course we know why he left. He left because he's a damn god retard, thinking that leaving the village is gonna make him more powerful. I bet the stupid bastard think that he would become powerful enough to kill his brother. He's so predictable, any moron with more than 2 brain cells could convince him to get on his knees and open his mouth wide if they told that it would make him get more powerful. Shikamaru was getting seriously uncomfortable with the amount of verbal abuse Naruto was throwing towards his missing teammate. He made a note to himself to not wake Naruto early ever again, as Naruto went to get his clothes, since he hadn't even bothered to get dressed to open the door, something that Shikamaru was ignoring perfectly. So, the Uchiha shows his true colors, the redhead said, drawing Shikamaru's eyes to her. He was also trying very hard not to look at her, as he didn't want to piss off Naruto for staring at his woman. That was all that Shikamaru was able to say. His vast intellect failed him for once. He wanted to say something in Sasuke's defense, but some part of his brain refused to argue with this woman. You will make sure Naruto come back to me unharmed, she asked, smiling, in a way that exposed many sharp teeth. It didn't look like a friendly smile, despite it was said in a questioning tone. Shikamaru knew that it wasn't a question, it was a demand. He didn't know why, but when she looked at him with those crimson eyes, he felt like one of his family deers, not a shinobi. As a bead of sweat ran on his forehead, as he wondered if all redhead are these troublesome. Or, is this one just special? Yes of course. I'll do my best to make sure everyone come back home safe. I don't care about any others. Only Naruto is important. As she simply walked away. As Naruto came out of his bedroom wearing his usual outfit, but he was holding on to the Kusanagi blade as well. As Zana gave him a deep, lasting kiss. I'll be back soon, said Naruto. Well, said Naruto, let's get this over then catch that moron. As both him and Shikamaru left. Time skip, the group that Shikamaru had assembled was about to leave when they were interrupted by Sakura arriving. Naruto, I know that you don't owe me anything, but please bring Sasuke back, she begged tearfully. Shikamaru, Choji, Neji, Kiba and Lee move a short distance away, give them some privacy. Sakura was asking this because she knew that Naruto can defeat Sasuke and bring him back. She had tried to stop him herself, but she wasn't anywhere strong enough to force him. She felt so terribly useless, having to rely on Naruto to do everything once again. Her training with Sandaime was making her stronger and more useful, but it would be a long while before she was at any of their levels. But she would get there. Once Sasuke came back, he would remove that cursed seal that Orochimaru placed on him, and they would be a team again. She didn't care anymore if Sasuke didn't return her affection. The fact that they was a team had somehow become more important than her crush on Sasuke. She just wanted her team back where Naruto could annoy her and Sasuke by sleeping around, Kakashi Sensei giggling like a little schoolgirl, and they can do missions together. I'll see what I can do, Sakura. He wasn't going to make any promises, but he can make the attempt. Sakura actually took steps to make something of herself, and that he could respect. She wasn't the useless little girl that was good for nothing but can't father anymore. She might still be a bit on the weak side, but strength will come with time of training. It was more important that she set her heart on something else, and it wasn't chasing Sasuke. Time skip. The entire retrieval team was looking at the wall that repaired itself. As Kiba just attacked it, they were currently trapped inside of a dome. They caught up to the sound for easy enough, and Shikamaru's plan to trap them inside of his shadow possession jutsu had worked perfectly. Too perfectly. The Sound 4 kept someone in reserve just in case. As Naruto no regret going along with Shikamaru's plan, he should have just charged and started a straight on fight, though some cautions had to be there when dealing with opponents that were, well, capable of working together smoothly. It was just that in this case caution betrayed them because they were no trap. This is bad, said Neji looking around his Byakugan. The dome is draining our chakra. How unyouthful. They will not even face us in battle, said Lee. Naruto wasn't concerned for himself, that fat guy outside. Chakra coils would rupture before it could absorb all of his chakra, but the others wouldn't defend so well. Despite not being in danger, though it was still an irritating situation, the constant chakra drain was messing with his ability to create a Rasengan or use his chakra chains. So yeah, that wouldn't work. If Kiba attack wasn't strong enough to break down the wall, that just means we need a stronger attack, said Naruto. An attack more explosive than mine would be Choji's, said Kiba. Yush. I could also open the first gate and break through, said Lee. No need to strain yourself, kiddies. I'll just place an explosive tag on the wall, said Naruto. Before they could say anything else, he placed on the wall as he rushed to the other side. But nothing happened. The technique drained the explosive chakra before it could explode, said Neji. Well, shit. I didn't think that was possible, said Naruto. Hey Neji, is this dome connected to the chakra network of that fat house outside, said Naruto. Yes, said Neji. Wonder what Naruto's up to this time. Excellent, said Naruto. as he brought out his Funjutsu supplies. What are you gonna do, asked Shikamaru. He didn't want another attempt at the explosion. This place was too small, and if Naruto went off setting explosions, they would probably get crushed. I'm gonna make a Funjutsu array and fill it up with my chakra, and then I'm gonna release it in a wide burst. Are you sure that's a good idea, said Shikamaru. I mean, our chakras are being drained, and you're going to use up a lot of chakra to do this. Oh please, Naruto said, with a scoff. I have more than 1,000 times of chakra, as all of you combined. The idiot outside would rip his squirrels apart by trying to absorb all my chakra, or he would stand out there for a month before that happened. They all looked at him. This was probably because he was a Kaiba Jinjulke. It was still shocking to hear how much chakra he had than them. They knew it was a lot, but not by that much. Outside, Jobo quickly removed his hand as he felt a massive amount of raw chakra being pushed into the dome. He enjoyed absorbing chakra from his enemies, but apparently someone inside had so much chakra they could do something like that. Unfortunately, removing his hand caused the dome to collapse. I'll take this guy. You guys should catch up to Sasuke, said Choji. Choji had no illusion that he was the weakest one of the team, and knew that this must be the weakest one of Sound 4. Aside from that, the both of them were strength fighters. Hopefully, it would prove to be stronger. Time skip. The retrieval team minus Choji made their way. The barrel that Sasuke was in was slowing them down. Kitamura saw the group as he spat webbing at them. As Naruto drew the Kusanagi and forced Sakura into it, slashing the web apart. As Neji started with his Jayukin strike. As Naruto pointed the Kusanagi forward and extended it. They all dodged it, the red-headed girl cursing as she did so. Kitamura passed the barrel to Seikon and prepared to delay them as much as possible. I would deal with him, his weapon. He's vulnerable to my Jayukin strikes, said Neji. You sure you can take him? He looked pretty strong, said Shikamaru, as he really didn't want anyone dying on his first mission as a Chunin. Even if he's stronger than me, the four of you should have no trouble with the two-headed one and the girl and then come to my aid. Neji reasoned with them. The group nodded as they sped after the others, who hadn't gotten very far. The two-headed guy also tried to stop them, but Kiba decided to take him on alone, as Naruto was frowned at those tactics. Staying behind to delay the group all alone was a stupid, arrogant tactic. As Naruto was thinking about the curse mark, was it influencing them to do this? The fat guy was understandable, seeing that he thought that he captured them in his art dome, but the spider and two-headed guy had no excuse. They had stayed behind, facing certain death, so that the remaining members can go along. That showed incredible loyalty to Orochimaru. He only caught a glimpse of the curse mark on their shoulders, but he wondered if it was affecting their mind to the limit for them to serve him unconditionally. Anko rejected the mark and never used it. That was probably the only reason why the influence never affected her. These four didn't seem like the type to refuse the curse mark. That was probably the reason it messed with their state of mind. As the remaining three had no trouble catching up with the remaining Kunoichi. You can't beat us all, so just give us Sasuke, and there won't be any need for fighting. Shikamaru says the girl stopped on a large tree branch. You are a disappointment to Orochimaru-sama, Tayuya, a voice said, as a tired-looking white hair teenager landed right behind her, 2 dots on his forehead. Kimimaro, she said in surprise and fear. Delay them while I delivered the new vessel to Orochimaru-sama. As he took the barrel and took off, not even care that she didn't have any chance against these many foes. Go after him, I'll deal with this one, said Naruto. I think it would be better if you go ahead, Naruto. That guy looked dangerous and you're the strongest of us, said Shikamaru. I think she's a genjutsu user, so I can take her quickly and catch up to you guys. Now go, said Naruto, ignoring the fact that Shikamaru was in charge and not him. Lee and Shikamaru looked at each other. They nodded and took after Kimimaro. Naruto wasn't sure if she was a genjutsu type, but she didn't seem like a taijutsu specialist, and one of them must cover the genjutsu art in the team. Tayuya prepared herself, as the large blonde stayed behind to fight her, while the 2 others went off to face off against Kimimaro. They were certainly gonna die, as she knew they didn't stand a chance against Kimimaro. If even the entire Sound 4 couldn't beat him, then 2 wimps on a leaf could not do it. She narrowed her eyes at her opponent. She labeled him as a meathead, who just focused on his size to win fights. Pretty much exactly like Jobo actually. She didn't expect to have any trouble taking him apart with her genjutsu. I'm Tayuya of the North Gate, and I'm gonna kill you, shithead. I'm Uzumaki, Naruto of the back door, and I'd love to see you try. Naruto said, chuckling to himself. What kind of a lame nickname was Tayuya of the North Gate anyway? He wasn't able to resist a dirty joke. After hearing her nickname, she quickly started to play a tune on her flute, casting a white ear genjutsu that was going to trap him. Naruto did feel like genjutsu, but he was blocked by his condensed chakra. As Naruto simply blasted off the branch, Tayuya was so shocked that he managed to go through her genjutsu like that. She didn't have time to react as he smashed his body against hers and pressed her against a tree. Get off me, you piece of crap, or I'll shove that sword up your ass. She cursed as she tried to kick him off. Oh, you cheeky little one. What, a naughty language. Maybe you'd like me to stick my sword up your ass instead. Naruto snickered as she tried to push him away, but she was nowhere strong enough to push him off. As she was too young for that kind of thing, but she has such a foul mouth, he couldn't help but mess with her. No, get away, she said, as she pushed her curse mark to level 2 instantly. Naruto jumped back. So this was what a fully cursed mark did to the bearer. Allow a physical transformation. But what was the point of growing horns? But her reaction just a moment ago. Naruto sighed. Screw me and my soft spot for girls with soft stories. The way she acted towards his dirty joke. She had some kind of a history with sexual abuse. And if there was one thing he had a soft spot for, it was girl with traumatic past. He knew that she was an enemy and she'd probably just kill her and get it over with. But this wasn't going to be easy. Summoning jutsu, she said. She summoned 3 ogres as she sent them towards Naruto. Naruto sent out his chains that wrapped around the ogres quickly. He shot forward. Slice, slice, slice. Naruto took them down the Kusanagi blade. She played her flute, throwing genjutsu and genjutsu after him. But Naruto simply walked through all of them until he had her tangled up in his chains. She struggled desperately against it, but she couldn't break free. Calm down, Tayuya. I'm not gonna hurt you, but you have to listen to me very carefully. Do you understand? He said. She nodded. She was still tense and weary, but still willing to listen. I can remove your curse mark, and you can come back to Konoha with me, where you will be safe from Orochimaru. But you have to swear that you will never fight against us again. If you can't promise me that, then I'll have to kill you right here and right now. Screw you! I'm not letting you take my curse mark, and I won't betray Orochimaru-sama. Naruto frowned as their struggles increased again. He suspected that she has been carrying the curse mark for years now. There was no telling how messed up her mind was. If she used it as frequently as he thought, you'll be safe from Orochimaru and Konoha, and you can get strong there without relying on the curse mark. A friend of mine is a genjutsu specialist. I'm sure she can teach you a lot. Screw off and let me go, so I can kill you, shithead, she said. That piece of Orochimaru's soul in the seal must have twisted her mind so she would be loyal to him no matter what. He hated killing girls, especially young ones. I'm sorry, he said. Snap! He snapped her neck. It was quick and painless. Painless as possible. As her body slumped. Time skip. Few minutes later, Temari arrived at that spot. Temari was confused as she was all over. She decided to go and help out Kankuro. Gaara wouldn't need any help. Naruto didn't have to go far, as Lee was engaged in a furious taijutsu exchange with the White Gear team. Shikamaru was on the ground, as he was stabbed in the legs, bleeding from a small wound, and there were several strange bones that were sticking from his chest, while the flap jacket seemed that it didn't pierce it. Those dumb things actually have a purpose. You alright, Shikamaru? Naruto asked. No, Naruto, I'm not alright. That guy shot his finger bones at me. Troublesome bloodline. Naruto created a clone to take him further away from battle. As he drew the Kusanagi blade, Kimimaro narrowed his eyes, as he didn't want him to take the barrel. He quickly attacked Naruto. You will not interfere with Orochimaru-sama wishes. As he blocked the Kusanagi with his small bone sword. Naruto frowned. Even though he was charging chakra into the blade, he could not cut the bone. He then turned the blade, so it was pointed at Kimimara's chest. As he had his chakras extended, the sword stabbed into Kimimara's chest and pushed him back. Surprisingly enough, it didn't pierce through his skin. It was blocked by bones. Those are some hard bones you got there. As Lee was back at Naruto's side. These are the bones of the Kaguya clan, my bloodline limit. My ability allowed me to harden my bones until they are tough as steel. As Naruto and Lee were capable of dishing out punishment, but if his bone could withstand. Before Naruto could finish that thought, there was an explosion. It came from the barrel. For a moment, Naruto saw a wild, great hair before it faded back into black. Sasuke gave a small, evil chuckle as he rushed off towards the hidden sound. Naruto cursed at the idiocy of his teammate. Lee, delay this guy while I go and get Sasuke. Don't find to win. You won't be able to get through those moves of his. But keep him from coming after me for a while at least. Yosh, Naruto, leave it to me, said Lee. Naruto hoped that this decision would end up with Lee getting killed. Lee was someone that he really respected. So he was just gonna have to go after Sasuke and beat the living crap out of him and drag him back. Naruto caught up with Sasuke at the valley of the end, find the man standing on Mother Uchiha stone, as Naruto landed on Hoshirama's head. You can't stop me, Naruto. I have to go to Orochimaru and get power to kill my brother. Personally, I think that's a really stupid thing to do, but I'll do you this one favor. You're old enough to make your own decisions. So if you want to go shack up with a weirdo like Orochimaru, I hope you can live with those consequences. He may have told Sakura that he would see what he can do. But They decided to give Sasuke a chance to see what he would pick on his own. Wait, you mean you're letting me go? Sasuke said. He was surprised. He thought he would have to fight Naruto first. We both know that you're not strong enough to get away from me, unless I let you. So run away, little boy. Run away and escape the only way you can, because I let you, Naruto mocked. Sasuke's eyes widened at those words. He remembered when his brother said something very similar to that. Run away, little brother. Run away and survive. Cling on to that sliver of life that you have left. He couldn't stand the thought of running away like he did that terrible day. To be allowed to run away, that was the greatest insult Naruto might have given. He didn't waste any time as he speed through hand sign. Fire style. He pushed a large amount of chakra into it, as he breathed with a massive fireball straight towards Naruto. Naruto swiftly pulled out a scroll. Still a slave to your own pride and arrogance. Fire sealing method, said Naruto. Greater Man has gotten himself killed because of that same stupid arrogance. Naruto says he started to seal away the fireball. Sasuke looked stunned to have his technique captured in a flimsy piece of paper, but Naruto tossed the scroll towards him. Some instinct told him to move away. That instinct saved his life as the scroll exploded with tremendous force, obliterating Mother Uchiha's stone head. How do you like my fire sealing method? Explosive node combination. It takes the energy of any fire technique and turns it into explosive force. Naruto says he flipped onto the water some distance away from Sasuke, blowing up Madara's head like that. It felt pretty damn good. Sasuke said nothing but the muscles in his jaw tense. He knew that Naruto was always superior when it comes to taijutsu. Not even his Sharingan would help, so he has to push it farther. Flame marking spread across Sasuke's face as he settled into black. With the marking came a rush of power. Power he knew would help him win. It wouldn't be like that time in Force of Death. This time he wouldn't be charging in blindly. I'll use this power to kill you. Then Orochimaru will give me the training and power to kill Itachi. Sasuke said, feeling certainty in those words. At this very moment, differences between Naruto and his brother was blurring together, and he wanted the both of them dead. They were both the same age. The both of them said very similar words to him. With the curse still messed up his mind, they might as well be the same person. You're delusional. That Hiki affairs didn't help you last time, and it won't help you any now. Sasuke fully mature Sharingan came to life as he shot forward. They clashed. Sasuke was infuriated to know that he was instantly put on defenses. Naruto was simply too big, too strong, and too fast for it to be any other way around, and he now had more combat experience. He wasn't leaving any opening defense that Sasuke could exploit. The only thing keeping him from having his skull rattle was the predictabilities of the Sharingan. Jumping back from a low kick, Sasuke launched several kunais. Needle Jaizo, said Naruto, as his hair quickly deflected the kunai, all of them, as Sasuke cursed. Naruto could easily activate a technique to defend himself from any physical attack. Needle Hell, said Naruto. Sasuke had to force his Sharingan to focus intensely as he tried to dodge a barrage of needle senmons that Naruto sent towards him as he speed through hand sign while dodging. Fire style. Fire flaming bullet. He breathed out a massive flame as that caused a lot of technique as the thing engulfed Naruto. Sasuke started to pant. He was certain there was no way that Naruto had survived that, which is why he was unprepared when Naruto burst out of the water and drop kicked him across the face, leaving a nice, sizable pain mark. As Naruto's body was covered in his water layer technique, Sasuke's fire technique has made Naruto water start boiling. That is why a nasty bruise is on Sasuke's face of the boiling water. What kind of an idiot fight a water used on top of a lake? Sasuke heard Naruto mocked him. This sprite, his mocking words, that was a close one. He didn't have time to get out his water breather, so he had to hold his breath the entire time. He wasn't going to allow Sasuke to do something again. Sasuke went through hand sign as he quickly summoned lightning towards his palm. Naruto created a Rasengan as the both of them moved forward. Chidori! Rasengan! The two techniques sent a massive power shock wave. Sasuke was thrown back violently, cradling his arm as it was tearing in agony. If you're going to get into a chakra pissing contest, then maybe you shouldn't have tried against someone who was more chakra than you. Naruto lectured him in a bored tone, further infuriating Sasuke. Sasuke growled as he activated his second curse mark level, growing wings that looked like arms from his back, as even his entire body structure changed. His hair turned long and grey. Whoa, you're one ugly shit, aren't you? Said Naruto. With this power, I'll destroy you, Sasuke said as his arm and heel in a transformation and quickly created another Chidori. The lightning got tinted black because of the corruption chakra that Sasuke was using. Naruto created another Rasengan, put in more chakra than before. His Rasengan was already a lot more powerful because of his super dense chakra, but now it glows so much more brightly. The both of them launched himself. And once again, Sasuke was sent sailing as he smashed into the wall. As Naruto stepped forward, did you know the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and expect a different result? As he sounds so much like Itachi. Itachi, I'll kill you, Sasuke said. As the level 2 curse mark state was messing with his head, Naruto and Itachi's faces were overlapping together as he was facing off against Itachi. Despite the great power boost, Sasuke was still a boy that had only turned 14. Naruto was a man that turned 18, who put himself through intense training every single day. His healing factor allowed him to get away with crazy thing. After all, he pushed himself to the limit. That was to say that Sasuke didn't block a few hits, seeing that his Sharingan was now, well, fused with so much power he could predict a lot of attacks. And he landed several strong blows on Naruto's chest and face. But Naruto simply grinned. The tide turned as Naruto brought out his chakra chains. As no Sasuke had to worry about 4 other things that could attack him. He dodged, attacked from the chain to his right, only to feel Naruto's fist smash into his face. Its entire face shook violently, as Naruto allowed him no rest time, as he beat Sasuke to no end, fist slamming into his face over and over again, until Sasuke finally fell back. Why? Why are you so much stronger than me? I'm an Uchiha. I should be the strongest. Sasuke bellowed. The amount of blow that he got to the head, it cleared his mind enough to realize he wasn't fighting Itachi. His anger and frustration as he got up and swung his fist, but Naruto dodged. Because you're arrogant, he slammed his fist into his gut. Blind, he slammed his fist in Sasuke's face. Blood exploded from Sasuke's mouth. Stupid boy, said Naruto, as he kicked Sasuke in the chest. Sasuke was sent sailing a good distance away as he coughed up a lot of blood. You will never amount to anything, and you will never match up to Itachi until you learn how to be a goddamn man. Sasuke growled as he was barely holding on to any kind of sanity as he unsealed his final haste into the hole, a sword. He took it from the Uchiha compound, and he trained with it in secret, even going as far as to spy on Kinjutsu practice and copy their secret fighting style. He might not be able to match up with Naruto against his fist, but a sword fight was something different entirely, as Naruto brought out the Kusanagi blade. As long as the fight was to fist, there was no danger of anyone dying, as Sasuke's fire technique was countered by Naruto's seals, or water, and the only lightning he knew was Chidori. A sword fight, however, can turn lethal at the lightest step. Without exchanging another word, the both of them crossed blades. Clash could be heard as sparks fly everywhere. Naruto had to use his chains, and Sasuke showed remarkable skill for someone who's just picked up a blade. They danced around on top of the lake, blades clashing together forcefully. Neither one of them getting advantage, as Sasuke's eyes were predicting Naruto's movements. And Naruto chains were backing Naruto up as well. For several minutes they played their dangerous game, Sasuke getting a few cuts on Naruto, well, his clothing, seeing that Naruto's wounds heal rather quickly. He stayed careful despite his rage, allowing Naruto to attack first, because he could use his Sharingan predictability then. Looks like that hunk of junk you're using isn't going to last much longer. Naruto taunted as Sasuke's sword was all nicked up. They had been slamming their swords together with so much force, and the steel could only take that abuse for so long. The Kusanagi was still in perfect shape. It was created by a man that wielded the power of a god, and it wouldn't be damaged so easily. Sasuke gave a mad grin, and used what he thought was certain would be the finishing move. Chidori Katana. His sword spun with black lightning, as he intended to cut right through Naruto's blade and cut through Naruto himself. He had practiced this move a great deal. It could even cut through steel. Nothing could withstand his technique, as he did not see the shimmer of sharp wind around Naruto's blade until it was too late. Sasuke knew that Naruto was a wind type, but he never saw him use the wind before, so it faded in his mind. Wind was strong against lightning. The two swords crash, the wind chakra completely slicing through the lightning and ripping through Sasuke's blade, severing Sasuke's blade in half. Naruto's face was sprayed with blood as the Kusanagi cut right into Sasuke's ribs, slicing into his lungs, spraying Naruto. The Uchiha collapsed instantly. Naruto quickly grabbed him before he could sink and carry him towards a water bank. Now look what you made me do, princess. You just had to make me get up early in the morning, didn't you? Naruto asked in a resigned tone as he crouched next to his dying teammate. He wasn't a medic, but even an idiot could see that it was a mortal wound. My clan need to avenge, Sasuke said, as the blood leaked from his mouth. No, Sasuke, you don't need to avenge them. They're dead. They don't give a damn whether you avenge them or not. Naruto said that side. Even while dying, the idiot was being melodramatic. He and Sasuke wasn't really close, so he didn't feel, well, still, he didn't want to kill him, even though Sasuke was trying to kill him himself. Sasuke was only 14, and left a stupid taste in his mouth to kill children, even though he was stupid. The entire retrieval mission had been nothing but a one screw-up that caused me to get hurt and killed. Kill Itachi, Sasuke said in a pleading tone. He's in the Akatsuki, so eventually, I might find myself killing him. You really should have gotten yourself a girlfriend, Sasuke. Your priorities might have not been so messed up if you had a girl to squeeze. As Naruto saw that Sasuke was already dead, Naruto closed his eyes and picked up his body as he headed back to Konoha. As he saw his sensei approaching, he would have to explain this to him, not to mention the shitstorm that it was going to start up in the village. He just finished off the Uchiha clan after all. Time skip. Sakura was waiting at the gate, as she had no doubt that Naruto would bring Sasuke back. He has proven many times that he was a stronger one. She was worried though as she saw the others in the retrieval team being brought back with serious injuries. It was hard for her to realize that they got hurt because Sasuke ran away. She felt so terrible in her heart, as if she had just been strong enough to stop Sasuke that night. She then saw her sensei and her tall blonde teammate walking side by side, uninjured. She saw Naruto was carrying something in his arms, but that couldn't be Sasuke. The shape was too big, and it was a dark brownish color. So where was he? Naruto, Kakashi-sensei, what happened? Where's Sasuke? She asked. Kakashi's eye clouded over with sorrow. He didn't say anything, so Naruto answered instead. The idiot wouldn't listen. He just kept coming at me with the intent to kill. I'm not sure if it was a curse mark that messed with his head, or a combination of both if he just hated me. Either way, he kept escalating the fight until things got out of hand, forcing me to kill him. Sakura felt her world collapse at those words. Sasuke was dead? Her long love interest, her teammate, tried to kill Naruto and died trying? But why? She couldn't say the words. She couldn't talk. Look at what the curse mark turned him into. As Naruto showed the bone in his arms, strange, deformed wings that looked like more hands. Wild, grey hair. When she looked at the face, it still looked like Sasuke, but there was also fangs coming from the lips. The whole time in the fight, he just kept on raging about killing Itachi and me. He wouldn't stay down either. He might look ugly, but the transformation made him a lot stronger. He kept on escalating the fight until it got out of hand, and I had to kill him, said Naruto. Sakura couldn't handle it any longer. She ran off as quickly as possible, crying. Time skip. What do you mean you're taking me on a 3-year training trip? Naruto demanded, as he was not in favor of this idea at all. I mean, I need to get you out of the village for a while. You got too much attention on you right now, Jiraiya explained. Such as, said Naruto. Such as your revealed heritage and the Akatsuki, not to mention the political shit that you got yourself into by killing that Uchiha teammate of yours. With all of that put together, I wouldn't be surprised if you have half of the elemental nations after your ass very soon. Wouldn't it be better than to stay in the village than gallivanting around the continent? You think so, but no, you need to disappear from the world for a while, until the heat died down. And it's not like you'll be wasting time for those 3 years either. We'll be working on getting you as strong as possible, so you can prepare yourself for any assassins or Akatsuki members. As Naruto wouldn't give a damn about staying in the village, but he had things going on here that he couldn't continue on the road. Leaving the village meant that he couldn't continue teaching Tenten Funjutsu. He would have to stop his little side project of turning Hinata into a badass, as he wouldn't see Ayame anymore, and he wouldn't be seeing Zana in that time either. Jiraiya might act like an idiot, but there was no way that he would miss a red-headed woman with very sharp teeth and crimson eyes appearing randomly. I've already talked over with Snally and she agreed with me. You're not strong enough yet to protect yourself against everyone that might come after you right now, so we need to get you out of sight right now. Naruto sighed. It looked like there wasn't going to be any avoiding this. Time skip. I'm gonna miss you, big brother, Hinata said. As Naruto sought her out to tell her about his training trip, she was quite upset that he would be gone so long. She had gotten used to having him around, and he had helped her so much already. She now carries resistant seals, but they were tuned down. That had been rather embarrassing for them to, well, be applied to her, considering that she had to be naked. But she had gotten through it. Neji and her hasn't been able to get their hands on Cage-Bird seal instructions, so there's another reason why she was sad. It will be 3 years before they can be helped with that again, and they will be alone the entire time. You'll be so busy training you'll barely notice I'm gone. Instead of replying though, she hugged him. It won't be the same without you, she said as she let go. Would you do something for me, little sister? Naruto asked. Alright, she said. She loved her big brother, but sometimes you have to worry about what you're agreeing to, because he's rather shameless. Naruto grinned at her nervousness. She was just so cute. Don't let anyone tell you what you should be like, no matter who they are. And don't take life too seriously anyway. You're not going to get out of life alive anyway. Hinata looked at him oddly at that piece of wisdom. Of course she wasn't going to live forever, but think lightly of her life. Still, she knew that it was the only way of him encouraging her to be more confident. Thank you, big brother, she said. Time skip. But you just started teaching me. Tayton was protesting that he was leaving. I know, and it's not like I'm leaving my choice then Naruto. So I have to wait 3 years before you come back and teach me, Naruto-sensei. Naruto pulled out a thick notebook and gave it to her. That notebook contained my notes on Fuinjutsu. It should give you plenty to work with for the next 3 years. As Tayton took it, there was a lot of Fuinjutsu knowledge in there. I'm sure you'll be able to make good use of that. So work hard while I'm gone. I will, Naruto-sensei. Thank you, she said. Before you go, she started to blush. Can I try the sword, she asked. She said so fast as Naruto looked at her. How bold of you, Tenten. Asking a man to play with his sword at your age. Huh? She said confused. But I'm sure someone like Neji would be more appropriate. She looked even more confused. Before she understood what he meant. Idiot, I meant the Kusanagi, not that sword, she said. You really need to lighten up, Tenten, it was just a joke. She tried to kick him. Sensei, she said. Time skip. You know that you're just grumpy because you won't get to snuggle up to your special lady friend in time anymore. I am teased. I also won't be around to protect you anymore, said Naruto. I'm a big girl, Naruto. I don't need protecting all the time, you know. She said softly as she made her way on the counter, as she hugged him. Better safe than sorry, he says. He returned the hug. Just make sure you use the next 3 years well. After all, I'd like to see my little brother get married, she said, with a giggle. You know that I'm a lot bigger than you now, you know? But he was happy that she believed he could do it. You will always be that cute little boy to me that showed up here, looking like a little John Rat, she said. I remember it here, it was so wet. And he was so cute, she said. Time skip, I see. Seems there is no way to avoid this, said Zana. I have no idea what I'm going to do 3 years without you, said Naruto. It's only 3 years, Naruto, and this godfather of yours has a point. Despite your victory over Shikaku, there are shinobis out there that can crush you as you are now. If the man's a spy master like you said, then you know what he's talking about. Yeah, I know, said Naruto. But I've gotten used to having you around, and it's gonna be sucky. Having no one but my perverted godfather for 3 years. Zana smirked, quite, well, amused. How upset he was over a maze of 3 years. As far as she was concerned, that was an eye blink. He would also give her time to sort out her own feelings towards Blonde. It was easier to think when he wasn't there, because he wouldn't be there confusing her and getting her feelings all mumble jumble. If it makes you feel better, I'll miss you too, she said. That does make me feel a bit better. Will you be here when I come back? I will, and I expect you to be stronger than you are now, she said. Count on it, he told her. Time skip. I really don't think it's a good idea, uncle. As the two of them made their way down the street, in a dark alley. You're saying that, but you're still going along with it. Because I'm trying to keep you from getting in trouble, said Kurnai. Sure you are, uncle said. I'm serious, there's no way this is gonna end well. Shh, it's almost time. Kurnai frowned but quiet down, as uncle watched her plan fall into motion. Hidden, shadow sneak hand, said uncle. Time skip. Imagine his surprise when he was suddenly binding sneaks while walking down the street to go towards the gate to meet up with Jiraiya. Today was the day that he was supposed to be leaving the village, but it seems like uncle had some other plans. As he was tied to a chair, the more he moved, the snakes tightened. He could have gotten free, but he was curious to see what uncle was up to. So what can I do for you ladies? Naruto asked, two women standing in front of him. Uncle was grinning as Kurnai was looking rather embarrassed. Well, we heard you were leaving on a training trip, Kurnai said, with a blush. And we never got to properly thank you for removing my curse to seal, said uncle. You already gave me a kiss, the both of you. I hardly think that kiss is good enough for something like that. Oh, said Naruto. So did you kidnap me to make me a cake or bake me something? Oh, this is a different type of thank you, said uncle, as she ambushed the blushing Kurnai with a kiss. As Naruto watched a show being put on in front of him, Kurnai could have easily, stepped away from it, as she was acting like she was struggling, rather on she was enjoying it. This was definitely a situation most men have killed to be in. People like Jiraiya. Speaking of Jiraiya, he was supposed to meet him at gate in a few minutes. Oh well, he would just have to wait. The two women by now had fully took off their clothing and was moving towards him. Several hours later, Kurnai was lying on the bed, unconscious, as Anko and Naruto team up on her. As Anko was also exhausted as she was awake though. Kurnai thought that she wasn't a pervert, but she didn't mind the attention at all. As Anko was then captured by Naruto chains, as one even wrapped her in her throat, holding her down right over Kurnai. If Kurnai wake up to this, she was going to be a bit pissed. But instead of making Anko worry, it, made her even more excited. She was about to tease Naruto about it. He suddenly shoved a ball gag into her mouth. Since you kidnapped me for your own pleasure, I'm sure you'll understand if I return the favor. But guys, I'll be in subscribe right here. For the next part, we starting to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new series that I post on this channel. What if Naruto was too advanced for his own age, guys? and enjoy that. And over on Anime King, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Became the God of Lightning, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy as well. And over on Anime King 3, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto's Betrayed by Hagoromo, so go ahead and enjoy that as well, guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now. See you guys very soon, tomorrow. Peace.